Hey, February 26, 2024, MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, joined by our co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel. We're going to be recapping UFC Mexico. We'll also recap BFL Bellator champs. There was like 3-round fights, but, you know, still that's what they called the card. And then in the second half of the podcast, we'll be previewing UFC Mexico, which at this point I think has like 8 fights or something, 9 fights, Marcel. Like it's not many, right? So
yeah,
it's that card's not even airing on TV in Canada, so they're putting it on Fight Pass only. So I mean, it's not a great card. Anyways, we'll get into the recaps. But Marcel, always ask you, man, how you been? How's everything with you?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I mean, it's kind of busy today, but I'm good. Kind of fell asleep for like 30 minutes, like an hour ago, I think. But yeah, I'm doing well. Looking forward to talk to you about MMA as always. How about yourself, man?
Doing good, man. Always looking forward to talking about the cards with you as well, man. So, yeah, and I'm looking forward to recapping Mexico, which was an interesting event. I mean, some of the judging was not like very questionable. I'll say that, Marcel. We'll get into that stuff. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me just see like the comments here, Marcel. Go through the comments. Hype, what's up, brother? Virtual, what's up, man? Joe, what's up? Where's Glenn? Glenn's not here. I wonder which fight would you rather see, Topuria O'Malley? What's up, Virtual? Topuria Islam Edwards.
Islam Edwards.
You like that
one? If I have to choose.
To be honest, I don't mind this Topuria O'Malley fight. I think it'd be a big fight. I don't mind it. But I mean, O'Malley's got to win fight. Like, there's so many contenders. You can't just get the super fight. That'd be ridiculous, you know?
We should stop. I actually tweeted about this before the card this Saturday. I don't want to see any champ versus champ fight unless you have 5 defenses. And 5 is maybe a little bit much, maybe 3, you know. But it depends on how many, how do you say that? How many contenders you have in the division. If you have like legit 5 contenders, you should fight all 5, in my opinion. If you have 3 legit contenders, you fight 3, and maybe you can look forward. But there have to be something before you have before you can say like, yeah, let me do a champ thing. It's going way too quick. I think, listen, man, Volk got a chance. That was a rightful chance, in my opinion, when he got it, you know. Adesanya got it way too quick, in my opinion, against Blachowicz. Let's not even talk about Conor. That was even ridiculous. I know he's the first champ, but it was ridiculous he got that chance at that moment. I understand why he got it, but let's be honest. And at least, I mean, Henry defended it once, both championships, and DC also defended it once, both sides. Yeah. And I had no problem with Amanda Nunes either.
I'm with you. All right, we'll get some other comments. Craig, what's up, man? Antoine, what's up, brother? John, what's up? Only some main comment was a fun card. Mexico, it was okay. It was decent. There was some good finish. There was only technically it was only one knockout. It was the injury, so that was the one thing was missing. But it had all the lower weight classes, so you were expecting too many big knockouts. What's up, fellas? What's going on, man? What's up, Knox? All right, let's get into the recap, Marcel. I say we'll just get into it. Okay, so we'll start with Mexico, and then we'll go to PFL Bellator quickly after that. All right, so main event. Well, I'll start with the picks. I mean, it was another good night for me and you too. Yeah, I went 10-2, but the thing was, you know, I jinxed myself, right? Because I go, I'm gonna get. I didn't think I'd get a perfect night. I knew
never do that. Never do that.
I know, but here's the thing: it's not like it's my fault that those guys lost.
Of course not.
You know, like I said, it gets so hard to get a perfect card. You know, I was feeling decent about it. I'm like, all right, I have 2 like decent sized favorites that should win their fights, and then Yair goes in there and blows his load in the first round, and you know gets finished in the third, and then Moreno loses a really close decision. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, like Marcel, I'm telling you right now, man, getting a perfect card is so hard to do. So I'm not surprised at all something happened. And to be honest, I should have like doubled down the other guys because I should have known better that it's like almost impossible to do that. But yeah, let's get into it. Main event: Brandon Royval defeats Brandon Moreno by split decision, 48-47 Royval, 49-46 Moreno, 48-47 Royval. Let's start with the scorecards. I really hate that 49-46 Moreno scorecard from Gino Hicho Camacho. I just hate that scorecard. I just think it's a terrible scorecard. I had it 48-47 Royval, but here's the thing. I'm looking at the scorecards, and to be honest with you guys, I actually had a different scorecard than all the judges because I had the last 3 rounds for Royval, the first 2 Moreno, last 3 for Royval. How did you have it?
Exactly the same as you. I had 1 and 2 for Moreno, 3, 4, and 5 for Royval.
I thought that's the way most people were scoring it. I really did. And then I'm looking at the scorecards, and they're all like very, bizarre to me because Chris Lee's a terrible judge. I mean, we've talked about this guy a lot, Marcel, but he's such a bad judge because he gave Royval the first 2 rounds, and he gave the third round to Moreno when the third round was the clearest one for Royval. It just doesn't make sense. And Camijo gave the third round to Moreno. These scorecards are fucked, man. Honestly, these judges were not very good on this card. I'm not saying I disagree with all the winners or losers, but I just think the way they got there is very funky. Michael Bell's is the only one that I would even remotely, think it's a close one. But even his is like a little bit, weird to me because I really thought, Marcel, it was kind of an easy fight to score, right? Like I know it was a close fight, but I also thought it was kind of easy to score. I don't know. What do you think, man?
I think there were a lot of close rounds, to be really honest. So I don't really, I'm not really going to judge the judge if they got it not as I had it, because I think there were some close rounds. But for me, it was like, yeah, I think Moreno started well. He was landing the better shots, in my opinion. But I agree with Knox, by the way, what he says here. And also with John Baser. I mean, it kind of looked off at a certain moment, He was only throwing that overhand, and he was doing leg kicks. That's what he's doing, At a certain moment, Royval had figured it out, and Royval landed the better shots at a certain moment. I really got annoyed by Herb Dean after 24 minutes and 25 seconds that he was, let's work. And then I was like, dude, what the hell? It's like,
those
it's
are
not
some
like
really quick breakups, man. Really quick.
Yeah. I even remember, I don't know which fight that was anymore, a stand-up that didn't make sense at all, but maybe I think about it later if we come to that fight. But, yeah, I mean, close. Listen, if they gave it 48-47 to Brandon Moreno, you wouldn't hear me complain. It was that close, in my opinion. But I gave it to Royval. I'm happy for him he got it because, man, it's not. I don't think it's easy to get a judges scorecard in Mexico. Although the judges weren't like really biased, like maybe we should expect there. But yeah, I mean, good win for Royval. Where he goes from here? Yeah, he called out Pantoja. Man, it's a tough sell, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's a really tough sell because Moreno would have been the 4th time. Royval is going to be the 3rd time. Does he deserve it with this win? Yeah, probably does. Is it really appealing? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a default option, but apparently he's injured anyways. I don't know. He tweeted something or put on Facebook that his MCL is injured, so he's probably going to be out for a bit. But even if he wasn't, like, I don't understand why he thinks he can get the next title shot because he just lost to the champ. And the fight wasn't like that close, really, the one with Pantoja.
Yeah.
Like the Moreno Pantoja fight was pretty close, but Royval Pantoja, not really. And then he just goes and beats Moreno, which is a good win, obviously. It's a very good win, but like, I don't know, man. I'd rather see some like I'm kind of tired of these rematches, to be honest with you, Marcel, at flyweight. I don't know about you. We're seeing like this would be the 3rd fight, too, the 3rd fight. And Pantoja's won twice already. Go ahead.
Listen, man. It's really simple. I think if Mokaev gets a good win on Saturday, a decisive win, he can jump the line. That's what I really think because he is a fresh name for Pantoja, Kaap is not going to get it probably because he didn't make weight last time. He had to fight. Albazi is injured. I was thinking, like, Dana recently met with Sakakibara from Ryzen, Maybe you got to deal with Horiguchi, man. I mean, that would be fun. Although people are like, maybe like, should Horiguchi get a title fight when he comes back? Maybe not. But I mean, if there is no other option, then I mean, I'd like to see Pantoja Horiguchi, for example, if he goes to 125. I know we fought at 135 as well now. But yeah, I mean, there are not many options, So I think Royval can get the title fight, but will he get the title fight? I don't know.
I don't think he deserves it, honestly. Like he's obviously a good fighter. He's one of the top contenders, but I think he needs at least one more win. I'd rather see Albazi get it, or I wouldn't say Kaap because Kaap keeps missing weight. It's kind of in a weird spot with Albazi because he just pulled out of this fight. So it's like kind of weird that you reward him with a title shot. I just want fresh matchups, Marcel. I'm just kind of tired of these rematches. We had 4 fucking fights between Figgy and Moreno, and they were good fights. I get it. We had 3 fights between Pantoja and Moreno already, and now we've had 2 again with Pantoja and Moreno. We're gonna have the 3rd one already in the last like 2 years. Like I don't think we need it. So the other option is Mokaev if he wins this weekend. I know he's young, but if he goes in there and finishes Alex Perez, why not? Why not? And then you're just asking about Horiguchi. I mean, that's another option, I guess. I don't know what his status is. Is he still under contract with Bellator? Like, I don't really know, or Ryzen, whoever he is.
I don't know. I don't know what his status is. Now he's asking who is Horiguchi.
Oh, he's
Horiguchi
asking who is. My bad. Sorry.
Ryzen champion, Bellator
Used to be in
champion,
the UFC.
former UFC fighter. Yeah,
Demetrius Johnson in Montreal. Yeah. Horiguchi's the Gooch, as we call him. He's one of the best guys, man. So I think if he comes back, yeah. But again, it'd be weird to get a guy that just came back from Bellator to give him a title shot. That doesn't really happen, you know?
I know, but yeah, I mean, I don't say he should. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Horiguchi is a fan favorite by a lot of people, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get him back that they do that, and definitely now with you got all these guys who are winning now with like Royval. He recently fought for the title. The option was like Moreno Albazi for us, you know, and if Albazi won, that would have been clear fight for Pantoja. But now with Moreno against Royval, you get. I mean, we are discussing this in Dutch podcast as well. Listen, man, does he deserve it? I think with a win over Moreno, you can say he deserves it. But at the other side, it's like we saw this fight 2 months ago. You know what I mean? So is it really appealing? I don't know. You know, I mean, it was not like, listen, it was a competitive fight, but I think Pantoja beat him 50-45 on 2 scorecards and one was 49-46. So do we really need a third fight between them? I don't know, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just sucks, you know, because they're like, you also have Kai Kara France, but he's also like injured and he also doesn't deserve a title shot right now, in my opinion. So, like I said, I think Mokaev has a really good chance if he beats Perez, but he needs to beat Perez first. And I don't know if that's going to happen, to be really honest, you know. I think he's definitely the favorite. We should discuss this one in the next podcast, I know, but I mean, got to look forward a little bit to it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right, a couple other comments. Did you see Pseudo call Moreno? I didn't see that, but I didn't see it. But yeah,
he wants to fight him in the Sphere.
I mean, why not? It'd be good, right? What do you think? I like that. I don't mind that actually. I just heard it now. I don't mind that. Yeah, this makes sense too because Nunes is talking about coming back. Like, and that card, what is it going to be? Pantoja in the main event in Brazil? Maybe they asked Nunes to come back. Hey, can you come back and fight? Pennington? Oh God, is that the rematch?
Yeah, we really don't need to see that, to be really
honest.
But
I don't think the UFC wants Pennington as a champion, especially after that fight in Toronto, dude. Like, that fight was shit, Marcel.
They shouldn't have made that fight, you know?
That fight was so...
We all three called it that was going to happen. So, yeah.
Decision. That fight was shit. Like, I'm telling you, Marcel, we were there.
I know.
And people, like, you wanted to fall asleep during that fight. It just ruined the night, honestly. And that wasn't the best card anyways, but that fight was so fucking terrible. You had someone that's a first rounder bust fighter basically against someone who's a decision machine. Raquel Pennington is a decision machine. Now it's great to bet on. I talked about this when we broke that card down, right?
Yeah,
great to bet on, but she's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
All right, a couple of comments. Mark says they give it to Albazi. I think that's possible.
But
Pop did fuck himself. Go ahead.
Albazi's injured, man. He recently got neck surgery.
Yeah. Okay, but I guess Mokaev then, man. I mean, really, but again, if he wins, that's not necessarily going to win. I guess if Alex Perez wins, as crazy as it sounds, if Perez wins, right? Have you fought Pantoja?
Yeah, he did.
No, he did. He submitted him. What am I talking about? He just submitted him. Yeah,
90 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. No, never mind. It's all rematches. It's all fucking rematches.
It is.
Valentina Live. I think she's gonna fight Grasso on the Sphere, right? That's the.
What I expect, to be honest, is that if that's happening. Or either it depends when Valentina comes back. Otherwise, they can do the winner of Blanchfield Fiorot to fight Grasso, you know?
Yeah, they could. All right, let's go to the next fight. We had...
Fuck, man, Valentina should go to 135, man. I mean, why not?
Yeah, and I agree with this guy. I think, at this point, it's March, basically. Next week's March. What's another few more months? I mean, they're going to train for 3 months, so it's basically they have to wait 3 more. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, nothing worse than a hand injury.
No. All right, let's go to the for you, Marcel, with no girlfriend.
He called it.
Go to the next card here. Next fight, I should say. We had a pretty big upset, I would say. Brian Ortega comes back from the dead and submits Yair Rodriguez. I mean, Yair was dominating the fight, drops Ortega, beats the crap out of him, and then Yair gassed out, and Ortega took over. Really, apparently, injured himself during the warm up as well, and somehow still came back and won the fight. So, man. I got to give Ortega a lot of credit here, dude, because I wasn't sure what to think coming off the 2 years, and the start of this fight was terrible for him. Gets dropped, gets hurt, but comes back and wins the fight by submission and wins a bonus. And I'm gonna get your thoughts in a second, but I think he should get the title shot, man. I do, because it's a fresh fight, it's a fun fight, and it's a marketable fight, especially in Spain, because he speaks really good Spanish, and I think that. That post-fight interview where he was talking to the crowd, he did really well with the crowd. His Spanish is good. Obviously, he's a Mexican background too. So yeah. I think that's a good fight, man. I really do. And I know people are going to say, like, why is this guy getting a title shot, one win? But, like, when you look at it, like, it's a fight that makes sense. It's a fight they could sell right now. And I think they could do that on the pay-per-view main event. So they could do Ortega Topuria this summer in Spain or something. I think it makes sense, man. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, why not? I mean, after the first round, you wouldn't give a lot anymore for him, man, to be really honest, at that moment. I felt like the knockdown that Yair got on him, it kind of had something to do with that first moment, man, with Ortega by hurting his left foot or his right foot. I think he was still not steady there. He got knocked down. Don't get me wrong, but I felt like he was still feeling him out, and Rodriguez bum rushed him. And he almost got the finish, man. Let's be honest, man. But he kept it. But Rodriguez kind of made a mistake to try to grapple him, at a certain moment. Ortega could get his wins back, and he actually ended up on top. So yeah, I mean, second round clear for Ortega. Third round was over before we knew, within a minute, and I think Ortega is also back to the mother of his children right now, right? He said he's married again, so yeah, good for him.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know, like, is that are those kids from a previous relationship or something? Like,
yeah, and he's back to the mother of those two children.
Really?
I think, yeah, and he's married again to her now. So I
mean,
think
she looked pretty good, man, to me. Like, honestly.
Yeah, people are saying he's downgrading, but I don't think so.
I don't think so. Dude, she looked really good. I mean, but again, like, Tracy's a good looking woman too, but like, she looked good to me. And you know what, man, I mean, honestly, like I get that too, because like, I think he's like, from what I can tell, like, he's a guy that does put his kids kind of first. So, but that's interesting, I mean, good for him. Go ahead.
Of course, man. I mean, and I felt like he is like, and this is like an amateur psychologist here, but I feel like he's in good spirits as well. You feel like when he's talking in the interview, he's very polite, quiet, and he talks like just. He does well, I feel, and that's an important thing. Saying he should fight Topuria, yeah, I'm all for it. Why not? I mean, I don't think Volkanovski should come back that quickly right now. And Max is fighting Gaethje. And listen, man, if Yair won, everybody would say Yair should fight Topuria. So now Brian wins, why not? The only thing they could do, if Topuria fights someone else, they could do Brian Ortega against Movsar Evloev. That's the only thing that's possible, in my opinion, If that's not possible, they do Ortega against Topuria. I'm fully for it, man. Why not? You got, like, Topuria, they want to do it in Spain. Topuria, Spanish-speaking, obviously. Ortega speaks Spanish with his Mexican heritage. They can sell that fight, man. I think, and it's a fun style matchup as well. Ortega is a really good BJJ on the ground. And so has Topuria. So I'm really curious how that fight is gonna go. So I'm all for it.
I agree, man. I think it's a fight that makes sense. All right, I missed some comments here, guys. Sorry, but West Coast is here in the chat. Cortez and the crowd gave him extra powers. I don't think so, dude. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. Have to come back. Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, Yair, he just gassed, man. He gassed. He kind of again blew his load in the first round there. Max beat Yair the same. Yeah. You know what? You're not wrong. The Max fight was actually competitive. The Max and Yair fight. And we didn't really talk about Max either. I don't think just now. I mean, if Max didn't take this fight with Justin, which might not be such a good idea, Marcel, like, it might not be such a good idea. He goes in there and gets damaged, which we think we will probably. Maybe he should have waited. But the thing is, I think they paid him a lot of money to take the fight. That's my guess. They must have paid him a lot of money, and can't blame him for that. And Zabit too. I mean, Zabit, if he ever came back, he's retired now. But Zabit, Marcel, to me, will go down as one of those guys, those what ifs, because I thought Zabit was the best guy in the world at that point, and I think he's.
Man, I love Zabit. Zabit is like, many people are always complaining about his cardio, which was an issue, of course, but he had some health problems, and
Yeah.
with Zabit, he won his fights. I remember, man. I got to tell you this. So Zabit made his debut in Rotterdam, right, against Mike Santiago. So he was short notice. Santiago, he was actually supposed to fight Nick Hein in Rotterdam, and then Hein pulled out, and then Santiago was a short notice fight with Zabit. So Zabit is standing outside of the hotel, and it was back then when I wasn't like doing any media things or something. I was just there to watch the fights and stuff, So he's outside of the hotel, and pretty much nobody's looking at him. He's just talking with random people. It's like with from his team. So I go to him. It's like, hey, Zabit. He's looking at me. I said, hi, what's up? I said, can we take a picture together? Yes. So took a picture with him. As one of the few pictures I have when I was, I don't do that anymore. Now I'm in the media, but was a cool story, man. Guy's super cool. And then the day after, when I was checking out of the hotel, he comes downstairs. He sees me. He starts waving. It's a funny thing. Well, he's a cool dude, man. Yeah, he was. He did great, man, in that fight. Remember, he had that spinning kick off the cage against Mike Santiago. So yeah.
Yep. No, I remember. It's someone else was age. I think he's like 31. Maybe he's not that old, is he?
Yeah, he's not that old.
I'm gonna guess 31. 32. I was pretty close.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, Ortega is a heavy bag with legs. Cannot compete with the pillar Ilya besides the fluke win. I mean, I think everyone's going to favor Ilya in this fight, but I'm just saying, like, it just makes sense marketing-wise, to do that fight.
Ilya has more ways to win, I think, but Ortega's tough, man. You got to give him that.
He's tough,
he's not even. Listen, only Holloway finished him, and it was because of the doctor stoppage.
That was in Toronto. I was at that fight, man. It was his eye was fucked, basically.
Yeah, it was a doctor stoppage.
I was going to say this is a good segue into this fight. Speaking of eyes that are fucked up. Daniel Uber beats the shit out of Francisco Prado in the second and third round. His eye got shut, and it was a fun fight. It was fight of the night, which I was fine with, by the way, because it was a really good fight. And this Prado kid's like 21, and he's got 2 bonuses already. So good for him. But I was going to say, like, let's talk about the corner work between the second and third round. Okay, I want to get your thoughts on this, because for me, I think it was some of the better corner work I've heard. And I know a lot of people are going to say he should have had the towel thrown in, and I get that. I totally get that, and I'm not saying you're wrong, because he probably should have had the towel thrown in because his eye was fucked. But if they're not going to throw the towel in, you know how stubborn these guys are. I think the advice the guy gave was fucking amazing, saying, like, just go out there. You don't need to see. Just fucking throw bombs. Just stand in the middle and just swing away. I mean, honestly, man, like, in this kind of a fight with that atmosphere, that's the kind of advice you need. Again, they probably should have stopped this fight. The doctor probably should have stopped the fight because the guy's eye was really messed up. But these guys are so stubborn, Marcel. It's not like Prado's going to say, I don't want to fight. He's going to fight. He's 21. He's going to want to fight. I just think the advice was, like, at that moment in time, I like the advice. I don't know what you thought, but what did you think?
I mean, I think the guy Zaidi, I think he's like also the president of Karate Combat, right? And he's a trainer of GoChat. I think he said something else, and it was wrongly translated. I don't know exactly, but the thing is, like, Prado could, he couldn't see at a certain moment anymore. But I don't know, man. I had no problem that the fight continued. If they're both behind it, go for it. And on the other side, listen, man. If we throw the towel, they would have never got fight of the night. You know what I mean? So you know how Dana is. So
I'm reading what you're saying right now, by the way. So, like, apparently he was mistranslated or misinterpreted, but, like, he just said you don't need to see, like, in close range. You just need it from far away.
Yeah,
because it didn't sound like that when he said it. But at the same time, I get what he was saying. Anyways, Zellhuber's good, man. I mean, he's really good.
Listen, man, he had a difficult start, dude, against Prado. Got to be honest, but he is good. He completely composed. After he damaged his eye, he completely took over. Very veteran-esque performance from him, man. I was really impressed by how he did it. And talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, he should fight somebody close to the top 15 or even in the top 15. And I'm not opposed to it, to be really honest, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. Someone's asking the top 15. I mean, I think so. I think he called out Paddy Pimblett, didn't he? I think he called out Pimblett.
I know Torres did. I don't know if he did, but possible.
Well, maybe it was Torres, but I think both those guys beat Paddy, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think so. You guys think Zellhuber's ready top 15? I don't know. He's 3-1. It's a good record, but, like, I don't know if you go from Prado to top 15. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was. And by the way, this was a 29-28 fight because I gave Prado the first round. I thought he won the first round. Two of the judges did too. So
I was thinking, I was thinking, who would you give him? You know, because I think there are many options actually, and yeah, I actually, you know, who I like. We should maybe Nasrat Haqparast, man. I think that would be a good matchup.
Yeah,
you know, Haqparast had a great fight against Malarkey. You know, where he knocked him out. I think that's a fun fight.
Got some other comments here. We got Zach in the chat. He's just talking about what his team said. Yeah. What's up, Tristan? Good job, man. And you know what? Actually, after the first round, Ortega was plus 950 live line. And I know some people hit that just because you thought Yair might gas. He looked like he was getting tired. So that was possible. And you know, Zell Hooper's the guy who does start slow in his fights. Remember the fight with Trey Ogden? He never started in that fight, actually, at all.
Yeah.
Remember that one? Yeah. What's up, Glenn? He's back. Here he is. Marcel, I saw Ricky said his fight was not on this weekend. Yeah, well, no, I mean, Marcel, I talked to Marcel. I should tell you this, guys. I talked to Marcel before, and Marcel said he's hearing it's not on, right?
Yeah, so I can explain a little bit. So the UFC, the broadcast, and Dana White said that fight was done for this week, you know, for Vegas 87. It's even on the UFC socials on X, you know. So like a lot of other people, I posted it as well, you know, UFC official confirmed, you know. So then I got like Ricky uses my post on Instagram by reading a story on his Instagram like fake news. So I'm going to Ricky. It's like, hey man, I was like, it's not happening. He's like, no man, I never agreed, never signed anything. You know, it's just not happening. I just wanted to let my fans know I'm not mad at you. You know, so I was like, no, good, because I'm just went with what the UFC said. You know, so he's like, yeah, I understand. So I'm trying to figure it out, obviously. But it seems like it's not going to happen. So I don't know what they're going to do. It just looks like it's not going to happen right now. I know, for example, that they're still looking for Vinicius Oliveira to get an opponent. I haven't heard anything. And Ludovic Klein has an opponent, but I cannot say yet because I'm still trying to confirm with the other side. So for one of the two sides. So
yeah. There you go. All right. They're getting free grappling. I mean, his grappling needs work for sure. So Hoover Kutaladze, sure.
Why not?
What's up, Fato? Tori Zellhuber's fighting Nazareth Klein. Yeah, I mean, those fights are good too. All right. Next fight. I mean, this fight was, you know, pretty much what we expected. Yasmin Uregi outstrikes Sam Hughes. I'm just surprised by the stats here because it says it was 94-83 in strikes. It didn't seem like that to me. Yeah, it was clear 3-1 fight. It was, I think, it was one of the worst fights in the card. Personally, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, man. Like I said, I have a soft spot for both girls. You know that, because I think Sam Hughes, she's super hard work, and she's also super nice all the time. You know. So with Horegi, I really like Horegi. You know that. And the thing is, like, the UFC watched the last fights, you know, and they know Horegi has cardio for 15 minutes. And they saw Sam Hughes fight against Jacqueline Amorim, got completely dominated in the first round, but Jackie ran out of gas after 5 minutes and Sam took over. But they knew that was not going to happen here because Horegi has cardio for 15 minutes. So, and Horegi is the better fighter, you know. The stand-up is more crisp. She's quicker. Sam was trying to get her to the ground. Didn't work, you know. And I tell you right now, dude, if they match Horegi again against Denise Gomez, I think Horegi wins the rematch, man. That's what I really think. So I think Horegi is like future top 15, you know. I wouldn't go, some people say champion, I wouldn't go that far. You know, I think she has still a learning curve there, but I like to see her watch her fight. And for her, it was a clear 30-27 in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Like I said, it wasn't the greatest fight. Go to the next one here. Manuel Torres gets the first round submission over Chris Duncan. I thought it'd be like a knockout type of fight, but he took him to the ground and then submitted him. So it was obviously a great performance by Manuel Torres here, man. I mean, he's another good prospect. 3-0 now in the UFC, 3 bonuses. I really like this guy. Let me ask you a question: who is a higher ceiling, Manuel Torres or Daniel Zellhuber?
I think Zellhuber still. I think they have more fate in Zellhuber, because for Zellhuber we saw more of him. With Torres we just see only like 2 minutes because he finished all the time, you know. So I still think they think Zellhuber, but Torres is spectacular, man. I mean, dude is fucking strong. He lifted Duncan up and he went for the rear naked and he got it. And Duncan is a tough guy, you know. So I think it was an impressive finish. Yeah, good win, man, for Torres. I think I spoke to Chris Duncan last week, and he was super confident in that fight. And yeah, it didn't work out for him, man. He's a good dude. I hope he bounces back. And with Torres, great, man. I mean, 3 fights, 3 finishes first round, 3 bonuses. I mean, that's amazing,
15-1 versus 15-2, those guys' records. So I mean, it's interesting. All right. And yeah, actually, Torres did take a big shot. Like he ate a big shot
he did,
early and then came back. Raoni Barcelos submits Christian Quinones. This was a pretty competitive fight.
Much more competitive than I expected.
Yeah, me too. Up until it wasn't really, and then Barcelos gets the submission 3rd round. Probably saves his job too, because if he lost, he probably would have been cut, I would imagine. So he gets the win here. Quinones is 1-2 now in the UFC. He'll probably get his last fight in his contract. But yeah, Barcelos, solid veteran, gets the win here. Anything you want to say?
He kind of cheated in the first round, man, with cage grabs. He should have got a point deducted, to be honest. But I mean, I think it was 1-1 on 2 judges' scorecards. One judge had a 2-0 for Quinones. But I felt like Barcelos was winning the 3rd round, so I think he should have won. He would have won 29-28 if it came to the judges' scorecards, probably. Quinones, yeah, I got to say he impressed me, to be really honest. Definitely in that first round, because I was thinking that Barcelos would go through him, to be really honest, but they didn't. Listen, man, no bias, but I was happy to see Barcelos get a win. He's a fun fighter to watch. Got 2 losses back-to-back against Umar and against Kyler Phillips. So, yeah, good for him to get back in that win column. Good submission win. And let's see where he goes from there. Because I think, he's kind of the guy who was a little bit fading. He's getting a little bit more old, And I felt like I was watching an older Barcelos in that first round. You know what I mean? So, but he came back. Good for him, man.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's talk about this decision. Jesus Aguilar defeats Mateus Mendonça by split decision. We both picked Aguilar. I was happy you got the win. But it was close. I mean, I think it was close. I really think it was close. Go ahead. You don't agree with it, huh?
I don't know how you can score that fight for Aguilar, to be really honest. I also picked Aguilar. But I think Mendonça got screwed big time, in my opinion. I gave him 2 rounds. I maybe even give him 3, but I gave him 2. I gave it 29-28 Mendonça. But in no way I thought that Aguilar got the win, man. That's my genuine opinion.
Hey, I appreciate that. I was going to say, I'm looking at the stats right now. So the first round, I think Aguilar won the first round. 3rd round, Mendonça won the 3rd round. It comes down to the 2nd round, really. And I'm looking at the stats right now. I was just curious to see what they say. It's 6 strikes, Aguilar, 13 for Mendonça. And then they each had a takedown. And then Aguilar had a minute and a half of control, and Mendonça had 3 minutes of control. So based on the numbers, Mendonça probably should have won that round. But again, you were in Mexico. I wasn't surprised. I really wasn't. But honestly, I thought it was competitive. I really did think it was a competitive fight. I thought it could go either way.
Was because of his first name.
Pardon?
Was because of his first name.
Yeah, I mean, the Jesus always wins, right? But this Mendonça guy, 0-3 now in the UFC. I kind of feel bad for him, though, because I feel like he's been matched up tough, too, to be honest. And then, obviously, the judges were against him in this one. So I would give him his 4th fight in this contract.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. But it was a close fight. I mean, we'll just admit that for sure. It was close. I thought Mendonça would probably get the decision. But again, because it was in Mexico, I was crossing my fingers, Marcel. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, come on, make us look smart. All right. Rosas, I think, I don't know, he looked like he was dead in that picture that was posted around. Did you hear anything about his illness?
Yeah, he felt ill. That's all what I know. But the thing is, he's in Mexico for a big audience. I don't think he doesn't go out if he cannot go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he that's what, and his team, his dad stopped him from fighting. There's that. The thing is, the real problem that I think is here with this fight, is that Turcios is pissed that he heard it 5 minutes before the fight was going to happen, and I understand that from Turcios' side. You're prepared, you come to Mexico, you pay for all your shit. I know the UFC pays for a flight for one corner man, but you pay for all the other stuff. And then 5 minutes before the fight, the plug got pulled out. You know what I mean? So I understand that he's pissed about that, but the thing is, I also, the team of Rosas, his dad, if he felt like his son couldn't compete and that was not safe to go out there, I understand that as well. But yeah, I understand Tursho's side that he's pissed about it, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. All right. Shoot the box. Yeah, they had a tough night. Other fighter. Yeah. That's funny. What's his name? Romero, I think, pooed his pants once. And what was that girl? Who's the girl that pooed her pants?
Oh, Justine Kish.
That's the one, yeah.
Tim Sylvia as well, by the way.
Did he too? Oh my god! I mean, listen, what are you gonna do, right? You're in the cage. You can't
It
like,
sucks.
be like, hey, I gotta go to the toilet.
Bro, imagine you have fucking diarrhea, you know, and you have to fight, and you get like a gut punch or whatever, you know.
Dude, I've seen guys puke in the cage. They call it TKO though, right? When that happens, I've seen that happen.
Imagine, remember after that was Kish against Herrick. After that fight, Chiesa had to fight Kevin Lee, and they were grappling on the ground.
Disgusting, dude. So nasty. That's the thing. You know when someone's mouth guard falls down, they just put it back in their mouth. Like that's so nasty because like all the people that are walking around on there, it's just disgusting. And then you have that happen. Like who knows, man? You know, someone else might have like, you know, shard on the mat sometime. Anyways, let's go back to fights.
Do you also remember when you had Michelle Watterson against Angela Magana, and Magana was like peeing?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember her too. All right, back to the fights. We had Edgar Chavez defeats Daniel Lacerda's first round submission, triangle choke.
What a robbery.
What?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh my god. I mean, this was like the easiest fight to pick. I don't know why. Stop picking Lacerda. You're gonna pick him in the next fight too?
Dude, just for fun. I said it on the podcast. I picked him for fun, you know.
He must be like on it. I think he has the worst UFC record of all time. 0-5-1 no contest. Like this guy is just not good, man. I'm sorry, but he's not. He's fine because he gets finished. That's why. He's like Bob Sapp, but he actually tries. No, I mean Chavez is decent. He's decent, you know, good submissions, right? So anything you want to say about this one?
I mean, yeah, what can we say about it? You know, I feel bad for Lacerda, but good win for Chavez, man. So, yeah, well, they were cool with each other after the fight. And Chavez, man, what the hell? Did he came on with ammunition when he walked out? Only in Mexico, right? You saw that?
Yep. I know, right? All right. Yair in Mexico. Yeah, I know, right?
By the way, what did you thought about that double knockout in the crowd?
Saw that. That was kind of funny. I saw Dana he said he saw the fight. And he just like, and he said everyone just kept fighting. And it was like he's like, okay, the security is just watching. I don't know what you're gonna do. It was a big brawl. Anyways, yeah. Let's go back to the fights. Fares Ziam defeats Claudio Puelles by split decision. I don't know how this was split, dude. This was a 30-27 win for Ziam. What did you think?
Horrible fight.
So bad.
I mean, even Ziam got the win, and he was looking like, dude, I'm so happy this is over. Yeah. You know, yeah, good win for him. He won 3 rounds in my opinion as well. Puelles, if he got a round, it was the second round, but it wasn't in my opinion. And let's be honest, we talk about this in the Discord from James. You know, one trick pony who hasn't learned anything since his last fight against Dan Hooker. You know, and like I said to the other guys, if you want to cut somebody, who do you cut? Do you cut Claudio Puelles or do you cut Daniel Lacerda? You know, and obviously you should cut Lacerda, you know, because of the worst record. But I rather see Lacerda fight than I see Puelles fight, to be honest. You know, but man, it was bad, dude. I mean, literally, and who am I to talk actually? But I'm just going to say, literally didn't learn anything from the fight against Dan Hooker, in my opinion.
Yeah, this was brutal. And like I'm looking at again, the scorecards are just so terrible from Chris Lee. He gave the second round to Puelles. Puelles landed 0 strikes. That like how do you do that? That's terrible, dude. The guy's a terrible judge. He really is.
I just said that you maybe could give the second round to Puelles.
How though?
But,
he did 0 strikes
with the grappling, but I didn't give it to him. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't give it to him.
I understand, but again, we know how the fights are scored now. You can't land 0 strikes and win a round unless you like, you know, finish someone on the ground or something. The other guy doesn't land a strike, but 14. Anyways, it was a terrible fight. Let's move on. We both picked this guy. He was a dog earlier in the week, and then I should say, both our consensus dogs hit. I mean, Aguilar again was a kind of a sketchy one. This one though was clear. I mean, this guy was the better fighter, right? Ronaldo Rodriguez. It's like his name changed during the week. He went from Luis to Ronaldo.
His actual name was Luis Ronaldo Rodriguez. So I went with Luis Rodriguez, and then out of nowhere I see this Ronaldo Rodriguez. Like, okay, we go with Ronaldo then, you know?
I know. No, man, he's solid. Oh shit, I'm seeing that now. What's his name? Sorry, I just saw this. Hey, John. Dude, I'm number one again in the capper picks. I've been killing it this year with the picks. I've been absolutely killing it. Where's that guy that was hating on my picks? Where'd he go? I think his name was Claudio. Claudio, where are you, bro? Where you at, bro? Where you at, homie? I'm just joking.
It's like, but he's coming back to tell
He'll
you.
come back when I lost my main event again.
Yeah,
my
you have
main
to
event I've lost 3 weeks. I think I've lost the last 3 main events, but the rest of the picks have been fucking killing it. So, I mean, I don't know, man. We do a free show here, dude. You're getting some pretty good picks. I'll just say that. Anyways, go to the next one here. What do you think of this decision? Felipe dos Santos defeats Victor Altamirano. Victor had more strikes landed and he had 9 takedowns and he lost.
No problems with it.
I thought it was close though because the thing is, like, again, it's damage, and I thought Felipe did a little bit more damage. I wasn't sure. This one I wasn't sure about either, and I had no skin on the game in this one, so I didn't really care. I saw James Vick just posted a picture of Victor, and his face looks fine. But during the fight itself, I thought that Felipe landed some harder punches. I don't know. What do you think, man?
First round was as clear as hell for Altamirano. Dos Santos had really trouble with him in that first round, got taken down at will. I think the third round was a clear round for Felipe dos Santos, so it came down to the second round. I think Altamirano had more control, but I felt like dos Santos had more strikes going on, and was like more attacking than Altamirano. So I had no problem with it. I said, like, either way, 29-28, I'm cool with, It depends on how you want to score that second round, in my opinion. So the outrage that went on X was a little bit outrageous to me, man. I think it was a close fight. But, yeah, I mean, I only think 1 and 3 was clear. I don't think 2 was clear for Altamirano. I think it was close. I had no problem with it. I had more problems with the Mendonça Aguilar fight, to be honest.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then first fight of the night, Muhammad Naimov wins against Eric Silva. First round injury. He would have won the fight anyways, but I do feel bad for this dude because he stepped between the cage and the mat and like tore his knee or something. I don't know. Go ahead.
How do you go from winning against Mullarkey and Wood? And I know many people thought he didn't win against Wood because he cheated, but I don't care. He got the official win. But how are you going from winning against Mullarkey and Wood to Eric Silva, who lost his debut against TJ Brown? It's a super weird matchup. It doesn't make sense to me. The only thing that could be possible to me is that maybe Eric Silva got somebody else and Naimov took the fight on short notice or whatever, and we don't know what that's behind the scenes. I don't know, but I didn't get that. It sucks for Silva that he got injured. He will be back for sure. They will give him a third fight because this was like a freak accident. But yeah.
No, I agree with you. All right. UFC World Commission. Yeah. That's what I was thinking, Glenn. I posted that on Twitter. I was like, who's getting this extra money from those guys? And then the UFC was doing the commission, so they must have kept it. And they didn't give an extra bonus. But anyways. All right. Overall, what do you think of this card? Like, what would you give it out of 10?
It was a fun card, man. I even thought the prelims were more fun than the main card, maybe, The main card was fun as well. But yeah, I think I gave it a 7.5, and I think that's a good point, man. I mean, if I give it a 7.5 is a really good point. So yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like a 7, which is like, above average, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Like a B minus, maybe something like that. Stock down. Who's stock down is the most? I guess Yair, probably. Yair getting finished.
1,000% Yair. It's not even Moreno. Moreno was a close fight. Yair.
Yeah.
Yair was already talking about fighting Topuria, So, and people were talking about Yair fighting Topuria. Definitely after the media day where he pretty much took shots at Topuria.
I'd say Duncan too. Because he was on a 3-fight win streak or whatever, and he got finished. So yeah. And I think Puelles, because I think Puelles is not UFC caliber, and I think he's shown that now, man. So to me, those are the fight. Because some of these fighters you just expected to lose, like a Sam Hughes doesn't really change her stock or anything. Or even Prado had a good fight and lost. But I think Yair for sure number 1. All right, let's go to PFL. We'll switch gears here, guys. We'll go to PFL Bellator. Did you watch the card?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. What did I think? Wasn't really impressed, to be really honest. No disrespect to the fighters on it, but
it wasn't that great of a card, honestly. Like they were just kept hyping it up as this amazing card, and it just didn't turn out to be. Now, to be fair, like they did lose some fights. They obviously lost Pitbull Pinedo. They lost Magny Makarinov. But even still, man, like the rest of the card just didn't really live up to the hype. But let's go through it quick. Ferreira knocks out Bader. It's going to be Ferreira and Nagano next. I mean, I don't really see Ferreira winning that fight, though. I think Nagano probably knocks him out, right? You have to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, we were joking in another group, not us two, but I'm with somebody else. Like after they announced that the winner was going to fight Ngannou, it's like Bader was calling Ferreira. It's like, hey, dude, you can win the fight. And Ferreira's like, no, you can win the fight. It's like that. But yeah, I mean, nah.
Well, yeah. Anyways, getting back to this fight, I mean, the co-main event. What do you think? Who won this fight? Johnny Eblen won the split decision, but I thought Impa won the first 2 rounds. What do you think?
Close. I think we go either way. I have no problem with it. For me, it's just weird that you have championship fights with only 3 rounds. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's also like it kind of feels. It almost felt like BMF titles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. By the way, I want to get Cole's comment. Hey, Cole, what's up? And I agree with Cole completely. You just said it too. Very bizarre, because they're advertising these champ versus champ fights. They give a belt out at the end, but they're 3-round fights.
Hey guys, by the way, follow Cole on X and on Instagram. Great guy, does great stuff, fighter interviews, whatever he does. He's one of the best guys in the business and one of the coolest guys to talk to. So shout out to Cole.
I just think at this point, this fight wasn't 5 rounds because I think it would have been interesting to see what happened in the 4th and 5th round. But yeah, I think Eblen didn't look very good in this fight personally. Impa was way better than expected. Jason Jackson knocks out Ray Cooper. I think we all expect him to win that fight. Vadim Nemkov submits Bruno Cappelozzi again, expected. We both picked Romero to beat Thiago Santos. It was competitive, but he won. McKee got this finish. Pico got a finish. The amateur finally made his pro debut and won Biagio. I didn't watch the prelims. I didn't see the Clarissa Shields fights. Was it bad?
Like she got in an arm bar like in the first round. She didn't tap, but man, listen, I don't want to shit on the DeSantis girl, but many people were like, it's great that they got the cashier from Walmart to fight Clarissa Shields. And she just didn't look good, in my opinion. She won the fight barely, split decision. Just wasn't great. And the thing is Clarissa Shields, she's a name in boxing. I know that for sure. I know that's true. But I don't know, man. I really not into the attitude. I think she's decent. She's decent at MMA. She's not great. Her boxing obviously speaks for itself. But the attitude annoys me the shit out of me, man. On Twitter, it's like, why you are like this? She always feels attacked. For some reason, nobody's attacking her. Yeah, not my kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really annoying. Personally, I agree with you. We've got a couple comments here. Yeah, John Jones being there was awesome. I loved it. Dana White must have been fucking seething when he saw that.
Yeah.
Bader's definitely past his prime for sure. His chin is gone. Go ahead.
So I had to laugh so hard when Jones met Fedor.
I saw that. Yeah,
and he's like, yeah, man, I'm a really big fan of you and also of your brother. Say hi to your brother for me. I was like, dude, he doesn't talk to his brother anymore. Those guys are having a. He doesn't talk to his brother at all anymore, I think. So.
Brother's kind of a creep, Alexander.
Yeah.
What's up, Marcus? PFL needs a serious change of leadership. Don Davis and Cruz suck. Overall, the card wasn't very good. I'll just say that. I agree with Cole too. He said Eblen's stock might have dropped the most because a lot of people were saying he's the best middleweight. I don't know where this came from, by the way. I mean, he beat up some guys in Bellator, and he goes in now. Suddenly, he's better than like Drakus and like Izzy and like all these guys. Come on, I mean, he's good. He's definitely good. This fight kind of showed where he's at. He was getting pieced up on the feet, man. He really was. Go ahead.
I gotta be honest, Adam. I'm one of these people who thought like Eblen might be top 5. Also
do you think so UFC. Still?
No, I think I saw it wrong. And maybe he just had a shitty performance this time. I don't know.
It's possible. But, I mean, it was a long flight too, right? Like it's not like it's in the States. It's in Saudi Arabia. Maybe the weight cut was tough for him. I don't know.
I need to see the next fight. Maybe maybe after the next fight, if he does something crazy, I'm like again, and with that OnlyFans model. It's kind of clear that was some kind of a publicity stunt,
You think
because
so?
He's still with his girlfriend, man, with the one he was before. So
that's just weird that they would like do that. And he's like holding her hands and he's advertising it. I don't know.
I mean, PFL had like I think had a lot of OnlyFans collaborations this week. For example,
Did
they did. I saw it on Twitter. Like, so I think it's some kind of a publicity stunt or something, but it's just really weird.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. Anyways, he's good, but I don't think he's that good.
I would have chosen another OnlyFans model if I had the chance. But hey, man, but who's going to spend $85K on an OnlyFans model? I hope it is a publicity stunt. I hope it's a publicity stunt.
I hope so too. All right, PFL needs to do tournament 4 and put rankings. They're going to actually start the next tournament like next month, I think, or April. I should say April. Christian Phillips doesn't realize how much privilege PFL gets here. I mean, all their fights have not been that great in PFL. What was the attendance and paid gate for PFL's belt? I don't think they're even going to tell anyone. I don't. Did they even actually have fans, or did they pay those people to be there? I don't know, man. I watched the event. I just didn't think it was that good of an event, and like, I was just disappointed. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It wasn't my favorite event. Anyways, all right. I think we're good. We're going to move on to the UFC the UFC Vegas 87 preview. So we'll just end this podcast here, guys. Appreciate everyone joining us. Just bear with me for a minute. I'll post the link for the new podcast. We'll do the preview for UFC Vegas 87, and then we'll get it here. So just give me a minute here. I'll post the new the link, and appreciate you guys joining us here for the Mexico City and PFL Bellator recap. Talk to you guys in a few minutes.